YouTube bugs out. Hold on. Make sure I get my chart.
Yeah, I didn't know my main account was back up, so I ended that one and started this one. That boy be tripping. Opium over there crying. You got indigenous people that you're cool with that talk about us. Y'all was all in the comment section of the live over there on Natural Wisdom of Yahweh page, calling all of us Pan Africans monkeys. We got the genetics of apes. We're slow. We're stupid. So we supposed to just let y'all talk about us and not say nothing back. Y'all got me fucked up today. And I got all the screenshots. I got all the screenshots of everybody over there that was talking trash in his live.
Ooh. I don't know why they be lying. It's
Bro,
like
I
they
don't
get in
know.
front of, they get around other people and they be like, oh, this ain't gonna sound good. This gonna make me look bad. You get over there, you like, yeah, I don't give a fuck how I sound. Because they be comfortable as shit in them lives, talking wild.
Come on. You sure can. You do it too, big fucker. You ain't eat nothing.
Oh, shit. What the fuck I just do?
Y'all making duets and stitches of Port City Bobs and y'all covering his face up like he a monkey. But the moment we do that to you black indigenous, y'all gonna be in your feelings. Look, this is how they treat us. But it's all shits and giggles when y'all do it. Y'all, I swear, y'all gotta have tougher skin, bro.
I don't even know what they talking about.
The moment we say something about that information, y'all go to slander. Y'all just can't attack us back with information. Get it? I don't get it at all. Oh, you're running from the earth speaks. I say the same thing I tell y'all. I called that man out since September. Here it is, January. Now all of a sudden, the day before the debate, you want to debate. No, I'm not doing that. I got over 12 videos talking trash about one person. One person calling him out for a debate. He never showed up. Then I stitch his videos and then I post his videos on my TikTok telling people that he's giving out false information. He never responded. I went on his own page and in his comment section commented that he's wrong. And I'm guessing he must have deleted it because when other people go on his comment section and tell him he's wrong, he makes a response video. So I was never the one running from this man. Now all of a sudden he wants me to give him the time of day. I'm not doing it. He ran from me for months. Now all of a sudden, he'll stand up. Let's do a debate. You ain't got no leg to stand on. I debunked every argument you brought. Now you got some new information. The Grand Canyon, the Egypt and the Grand Canyon underneath the water, and they found the Sphinx in Mexico. And the only information you can find of it is an outdated news article. That's it. That's a source. The news article is a source. So since we're gonna use news articles as sources, y'all don't want to play that game with us because you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose with the news article sources.
Who? Who's Gaddy Green?
I don't know.
Did that Gaddy Green debate you? Gaddy Green. They don't even debate. They just freestyle. They need to drop tracks.
Mixtape.
Yeah, we'll make a lot of money doing that shit. Just get on there and just start rapping shit. We over here like researching shit, actually putting together sources using methodology and using experts and in conspiracy theories and could be. Think about that. Ooh, wow, that don't make sense to me. I don't understand this shit. So I conclude I'm from Uranus.
Girl. And you go get this book. And in this book, he states he believes that America is the oldest human civilized population. Belief? Did you just say belief? So it's okay for the Black indigenous community to use belief to prove their stance. But when we try to use a belief to prove our stance, well, you can't, that's just belief. But it's okay for you to use a belief. Got it. I do not
Well,
I do not be professional with it at all. I can be messy just like they can be messy.
yeah, I ain't gotta come from no damn. You ain't gotta think you a primate or none of this shit. But it's when you see this shit, I just want to see how y'all explain it. I want to see what conclusion you gonna come to when you see how this shit actually works. If y'all was here yesterday, then y'all saw the rhesus monkey breakdown shit. That's complete bullshit. Nothing says you come from a rhesus monkey. It's talking about a mistake that someone made. They looked at two things and they said, oh, these things I believe are similar. They believed it was similar. They jumped the gun just like y'all do today. Oh, wow, this doesn't make sense. I guess I could be from America. And now people keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And then when the people come out, some of the people y'all use, they have already come out and said, matter of fact, they didn't have to come out and say it, but they did because people believed it. But they had to reiterate what they stated. It was their belief. They were challenging their peers. This thing is healthy, but they're talking. And I have a perfect guy for y'all today. He does the same thing you do. So I want you to pay attention as I build all the way up to this. I'm going to concede to both sides and show you how it still does not matter what you believe. The only thing that matters is the data that is presented, the data that they're observing. What you cannot get around is what is analyzed in the data. That's what the fact is, the observation. What you conclude becomes the theory. And either you have an educated theory or you got an uneducated guess, or you just got lookership, or you have fantasy in your religion and your emotions. All right. So let me flip this around real quick so y'all can see it. Now, bigger than life. By the time we get to the end, you're going to understand why I'm calling this bigger than life. And it's human species and classification. Keyword here, human species, and the keyword classification. This is why y'all butt hurt. Your butt hurts because of classification. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you come from a monkey. It's classification. But y'all gonna learn today. You're gonna learn how this works. Let's see if you can comprehend it if I break it down a little bit more simple for you. This is a hominid. A hominid. Any member of the family that includes modern humans and great apes, as well as earlier creatures that no longer exist, for which modern humans evolved from or developed. They're in this group. It doesn't mean you came from here. They're just in the group. It's a classification. That's why they're in the group. Because you're the classification. It doesn't mean that you actually came from it. In fact, a common ancestor is who you're looking for. You're looking for the common ancestor that you and these beings are connected to. You and these creatures that no longer exist, we are both connected to something else. That's what the missing link is, the common ancestor. You don't come from that. That's something that racism plagued your mind with, and you so mad that you actually forgot that the dude was lying about you coming from a monkey. You forgot he was lying about it, and you think it has something to do with the science. The science disproves the racism that they were talking about because it never says you come from a monkey. The rhesus gene or the rhesus terminology is stuck that way, if you've seen the other live, because it was already used in too many journals. It was used in too many works. So they just call it RH. But look up rhesus monkey and look up the DNA, the protein that they have, and see if it actually is the same as the one that's in the human. It's not. The word is stuck that way because people used it and it's too late. But the people in the field, they already know that it's a misnomer. They know it's a misnomer. You don't know it's a misnomer because you just got off the plantation. But we're going to get the cotton out your ear. Disagreeing with the theory of evolution pertaining to hominins. Let me let y'all see that over there. Pertaining to hominins does not change your classification of hominid. A hominid cannot be a hominin because the hominid includes us, the people who are still alive, all the way over here, the modern humans. We're hominid, but we're hominin. And the hominids, all hominids can't be hominin because they're just the past people who are classified with us. They're past creatures who are classified with us. No matter which way they go from the common ancestor, they can go this way, that way, this way, this way. It could have been us going here, them going all the way down there somewhere else. Doesn't matter. We're in the same group because of how we look, no tail. We got 2 arms, 2 legs. We face forward, the eyes. That's why we eat other organisms, separating us from plants and animals. There's all types of different classifications, and y'all about to see one on this next page. But no matter what you agree with or disagree with here, it doesn't change that you're part of the hominid classification. You can remove everything from here all the way down and say you're connected to God, and you still would be a hominid. You don't get it. It's classification. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing, but classification is what helps us separate certain things so that we can have an understanding when we're speaking. Well, you mean this? You mean that? You mean that? No, we're talking about the hominids. Okay, now you can erase everything else and we're only talking about the people with the same type of hips, the same type of head, the same type of arms, legs, no tail. So you kind of, simplify things. Now it says, what is taxonomy? The specific process of classifying things, arranging them into groups. See that there? Protozoans, algae, the kingdom of protists, the kingdom of fungi. What's the next one? The kingdom of plants, the kingdom of animals. You see what you got here? You see, this is what an adult does. This is why this is spooky. This is what an adult does. They know what classification is. You know what classification is. You know all of these animals right here are just animals. And that there are different things going on and they have certain things that, could connect them. The horse probably has smaller things that connects it with a squid, but the squid probably has more with a fish and a starfish probably has less to do with a fish with gills that swims with fins than it does with a conch or something like that. So we understand that there's similarities and there's things that are just in small percentages and high percentages, but they're all animals. And this is where you're getting butthurt at. These are just classifications. Over here, let me go down one. Usage of the word tribe in biology. In biology, a tribe is a taxonomic rank between family and genus. It is sometimes subdivided into sub-tribes. So life. We all got life, right? Huh? A whole bunch of shit got life. Then you got domain, you got kingdom, you got phylum, you got class, order, family, genus, species. It's classification that you're getting hung up on. I'm not a primate. I'm not a hominid. How dare you? You don't even know what it means. This is the problem. It's comprehension. And some of y'all, I will let you have reading comprehension because you may need to read it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I got to do it. It happens. Make sure you get it. If you don't get it, leave it alone. There were some slides I couldn't even put in here. I had 28. I narrowed it down to 17 or 18 because some of it I wasn't going to be able to understand. So I sit that aside. I leave that alone. I got to go back and study that. There's nothing wrong with that. Y'all can't do it. You just jump to a conclusion. Oh, now I'm a pathologist. And now I'm an anthropologist. Now I'm a reverend. Then I'm God. I'm Jesus. I created the universe. It's cap. Y'all don't want to study. You want to take shortcuts. And I get it. So here, this is what y'all see. This is what you think. This is what it triggers. It triggers you to think like that. I'm not a monkey. I'm not a monkey. But we're going to get into what this actually means. How the connection was made. Let's find out how this connection was made. Okay, now this however right here is not to do with what I'm saying. It's however because someone disagrees with this, right? However, overwhelming genetic evidence has since demonstrated that humans, chimpanzees, and gorillas are much more closely related to each other than the orangutan. Thus, there is no genetic support for grouping the great apes together in a distinct group from humans. For this reason, many researchers now place all species of great ape and human within a single family, Hominidae, making them all hominids. This is what this is about. They're classifying it. They're putting it together. So you already see it's not. We don't live around each other. We're not hanging around each other in the same type of families, like mating with each other and shit like that. They already know. You don't have to say this shit to adults. You got to say that to kids. No. You're not in a family like that. This is biology. We're studying human history, so we're trying to classify things to break it down and make it more simple. You say that to a kid. These are people 25, 35, 45, 55 years old thinking that because you are classified in a group because of similarities, that you are a fucking monkey. You bullshit. I used to be so mad, like, why we always putting our kids on a bus? You know what? I get it now. I get why we got to put our kids on a bus. Because I'm thinking like everybody can think the same. Everybody can't teach their damn kids, man. Some people, you just got to put your kids on the bus. All right? Put them on the goddamn bus because you can't help it. Right? Genome. Chimpanzee genome. What is chimpanzee genome? Chimpanzee genome is the whole DNA sequence of the chimpanzee chimps. Genetics also focuses on the nucleotide sequence of the chimpanzee genome with respect to the human genome. The Chimpanzee Genome Project started in December 2003, just after the completion of HGP. 98% of the sequence of the human and chimpanzee genome is similar. Also, the chromosomes of the human and chimpanzee are similar. This is why the classification happens. Let's go down again. Wait, let me make sure there was nothing on that picture. Oh, and this is how complex this code is. This isn't fake right here. This is actually what's in the code. Literally. This is what's in the code. And this is what's actually used to debunk that we actually have them as a common ancestor and that two chromosomes fuse together. But we're not going to get into that right now. We'll get this in a couple of slides. So let's get to the next one. Karyotyping. When a chromosomal aberration is identified, it allows for a more accurate prediction of the risk of its recurrence in future offspring. Karyotyping can be used not only to diagnose aneuploidy, which is responsible for Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, and Klinefelter syndrome, but also to identify the chromosomal aberrations associated with solid tumors such as nephroblastoma, meningioma, neuroblastoma, retinoblastoma, renal cell carcinoma, small cell lung cancer, and certain leukemias and lymphomas. Karyotype. Karyotype is the human karyotype is represented by 46 chromosomes, whereas chimpanzees have 48 chromosomes. Now, this is where we're going to start getting into why these comparisons were made. Now we're dealing with data. What you saw was classification. What you seen was, or what you remembered was something about racism and stuff. You weren't in the field. You don't understand what that's about. You know racism. You know Jesus Christ and Allah and hope and the railroad and slavery Himes and that's what you know. Somebody gonna come save you. Now it's time to get to work. It's time to start understanding something. The human karyotype is represented by 46 chromosomes, whereas chimpanzees have 48 chromosomes. In general, both karyotypes are very similar. However, there is a major difference corresponding to the human chromosome 2. What's this difference? It has originated due to a fusion of two ancestral acrocentric chromosomes corresponding to chromosome 2A and 2B in a chimpanzee. So this is what the problem is. This is a connection that's being made that cannot be denied. You can't refute it. You don't have to agree with how it happened. You don't have to agree with how it happened. See, look, chimpanzees are the closest living relatives of humans. The divergence between human and chimpanzee ancestors date to approximately 6.5 to 7.5 million years ago. So we don't know exactly what the fuck happened 6.5 to 7.5 million years ago. But we do know that what we study today shows this. Let me make sure there's nothing too important in here. Chimpanzees, genomes underwent. Yeah, I'm gonna read this one actually. After divergence of their ancestor lineages, human and chimpanzee genomes underwent multiple changes, including single nucleotide substitutions, deletions, and duplications of DNA fragments of different size, insertion, and transposable elements, and chromosomal rearrangements. Okay, that's important because we're talking about 6.5 to 7.5 million years. And there's still wiggle room. There's still wiggle room. Remember, see if you can follow it. See if you can keep up with the reading comprehension. There's only one thing you need to pay attention to here. There's only one thing you got to pay attention to. All of the other shit is what they're trying to conclude. You can come to your own conclusion as well. But there's going to be something with the data that you can't deny that you cannot remove. And I want to see who can keep up with it on not us, but I don't even know what we call them. The people who believe in weird shit. That's what we're just going to say right now. Because I don't want to say no funny shit and get banned. So, chromosomal fusion. Bad? Is that bad? In her lecture, the main evidence Dr. Scott cites to argue the chromosomal fusions aren't...
Are you leading up to the 48, 46 fusion?
Yeah, I already did it. I mean, I
Oh,
already
okay.
said it. Yeah, it was a fusion of 2A and 2B. And now fusion can be refuted. You can refute it. You can go, well, I don't think that happened. But there's going to be something else that can't be denied. But yeah, in her lecture, the main evidence that Dr. Scott cites to argue that the chromosomal fusions weren't necessarily deleterious comes not from humans, but from horses. This same thing happened with this damn horse. The same thing happened. A rare and endangered breed from Mongolia called Zawalski, Zawalski, the Zawalski horse, Equus Zawalski, has 66 chromosomes, two more than the common domestic horse, which has 64 chromosomes. So we're seeing the same shit happen. How it happened? We don't know. We don't know if it actually fused. We don't know if someone did it with their own hands or some advanced civilization did it. What we do know is that shit happened. But I'm going to tell you what's dangerous when you use your belief when you're staring at the data. The data cannot be denied that's observed. It can't be denied that's observed. That's what you can't deny. These two right here are separated. They're one chromosome each. Excuse me. When you get here, we have the same one. It's the same in them. It's the same one. Or two, technically. This is chromosome 2 and then chromosome 3. In ours, we don't have it separated. It's just one fucking chromosome, but it's the same sequence. The same sequence of genes, the same code. Millions of lines of code. It's the same, in the same order. You cannot fuck that up. There's no way to get around that. So you don't have to agree with how it happened. You can say God did it. You can say aliens did it. You can say the Anunnaki did it. You can say we did it. We were splicing ourselves. You can say that the world ended and we got the ability to time travel and we came back and saved ourselves because we found out the only way to do it was to fuse these two chromosomes together from taking it from one of these older beings that lived in the past. You can call it whatever you want, but you can't deny this data. That's the problem. This sequence is happening in your chromosome, on the second chromosome, and it matches 2A and 2B of everything leading back to Homo erectus. All the way back before you split and you have the common ancestor in the ape. It goes all the way back millions of years before this even happens. So the same thing also occurs in had happened in a horse, and we thought the only time it happened was with humans. Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Because I don't know, my sound messed up with my earpiece. All right, so now I'm gonna go to this next one right here. Um, yeah, chromosome 2A, chromosome 2B are found in both species. Only in humans a fusion took place. That's what their claim is. That's what, when they look at the data, that's what they're concluding. Well, a fusion took place because this here and this here are both in this one, in the same exact sequence. The only difference, these are exactly the same. The only difference is that these two are separated over here, and over here they're put together. So they think a fusion took place. Now, alternative gene splicing. This is where it's going to get real juicy, right? Alternative gene splicing. Recent genome-wide analysis of alternative splicing indicate that 40 to 60% of human genes have alternative splice forms, suggesting that the alternative splicing is one of the most significant components of the functional complexity of the human genome. Here we review these recent results from bioinformatics studies, assess their reliability, and consider the impact of alternative splicing on biological functions. Now, when they're talking about splicing, they're not talking about a human being doing the splicing. They're talking about epigenetics. They're talking about your own body doing it itself. It's turning things on and off. It's deleting things that it doesn't need. Your own body is doing the splicing. They're not even talking about human interaction or some other being interacting with you and then splicing you. Your body does the splicing on its own. And that's what they're studying now. So this fusion is not the only theory on the table. But guess what they both have in common? They acknowledge that this happened. They acknowledge that this is the data, that these match. They're not trying to change this. They don't want to erase it. They're just saying, let me come to a different conclusion about how this happened, how this match happened. Y'all doing research wrong. You're trying to get rid of data. And guess what? You got some company, but he's not going to conclude how you conclude. Let's see what he says. Evolutionists. This is a really extensive study, so I just pulled the highlights so that you can get what he's saying. The sources are down here. I can zoom. I can go back over them, whatever, while I'm sitting here freestyling after I'm done. And I'll show y'all all the sources. But right here, y'all can screenshot that and go study what he's saying. You're not going to like it because he has a different conclusion. But I think you're going to like it because he's going to help you get rid of the data that you don't want there. But you have to accept something, the observation. You have to accept the observation. Article highlights. Evolutionists try to explain away humans having 46 chromosomes and apes having 48. If both descended from a common ancestor, the supposed answer is that fusion took place. He doesn't agree. He's being a smartass. The alleged fusion site isn't connected to satellite DNA sequence like documented fusions are. And it's too small and muddled to be the fusion of two chromosomes. So he doesn't agree with that. He's saying that code, let's see if we can go back up here to that code I had showed you, because this is not fake right here. This isn't like some fake shit. This is actually the code. He's saying the code is way too small. It's only, I think, 276 of these characters. And other fusions have hundreds of thousands of the code. That doesn't debunk this. That the 2A and 2B of the second chromosome is the exact same sequence in the human. He's not debunking that. He's just trying to say how it happened. And we're about to find out why he wants to take away how it happened. Okay, most importantly, the fusion site is located inside a gene and contains intricate coding functionality, soundly refuting fusion. soundly refuting fusion. I didn't hear him do that. I'm hearing that he disagreed with it because there's no evidence left behind connected to the satellite DNA sequence. He's saying there should be some trace when you see the mRNA cutting and slicing through it because your body's doing splicing itself, right? And he's saying there should be traces. You see satellite DNA left over from when your body is doing splicing on its own. And he said if there's no satellite DNA, there's no satellite remnant there, then that means this splicing couldn't have taken place. Because we don't see that, so that's not a fusion. I mean, not splicing, then the fusion didn't take place. My bad, y'all. Okay, so the alleged cryptic centromere site is inside a large protein coding gene, further refuting the fusion idea. Further refuting the fusion idea. So now he's being a little bit more accurate. He's refuting the fusion idea. He's accepting the data. The human chromosome 2 fusion theory doesn't hold up to scientific scrutiny. These are the highlights of what he was breaking down. And this is what he's saying here. He's saying we don't see any evidence of the satellites. There should be something left over there. There's nothing left over because there's other fusions that we can compare this model to, and it's not found there for them to conclude that this is actually a fusion like what took place with the horse. With the 64 and with the 66 going to the 64. Okay. Now the conclusion. Check this out. Now we ran through all of that. Your emotions going to run wild. And you got these two, right? I gave you a guy that's refuting it. And there's a lot of people refuting it, but he had a PhD. So I had to pick him, right? And then he has like a little cherry I can put on top too. So he was a good choice. And then you have this fusion over here, of course, which is the consensus, right? Now the conclusion. This is something you can't forget. The main evidence for fusion has always been that the two species of human chromosome 2 are nearly identical to chromosomes 2A and 2B of apes, typically 96 to 98% identical. The genes are almost entirely in the same order. The intergenic region are very similar all along the 2A, 2B length. Millions of bases. Millions. That's not a coincidence. Now, however it happened, that's up to you. Come up with whatever the hell you want to come up with how it happened. The point is, it's there. You want to say people had weird fetishes back then and they wanted to lay around with stuff and your people didn't lay around with them. Call it what you want to call it. But you ain't going to call me late because I'm on time with this shit. You can't deny the data even though you can come to a different conclusion. And check this out. This is what people think that they actually going to understand. We're just dealing with a brief rundown of human history and some things that you're familiar with that I could dig a little deeper into to give you the meaning of in hopes that you could get some better understanding of what you're talking about. But this is really what it's all about. Life. And then everything that it branches off. Eukaryote, prokaryote, plant, animal, and all of these different things that happen over the course of millions and millions and millions of years. And we're looking at some data that shows that we share the same thing as something that we don't hang around with, that we don't sleep around with. We don't know what the hell happened. You're not supposed to get offended and go, I'm not a monkey. You need to get in the field, get in a lab. You get in there and look at the data and see if you can figure out why the fuck are we sharing the same thing. Figure it out. If not, don't be sitting around making up shit. And I know you ain't going to listen to me. You're going to keep on making up shit. So go ahead and do your thing. But here is these 4 different models. The modern humans first developed in Africa about 100,000 years ago and then migrated through the world. Existing archaic human populations in various areas of the world were then replaced by the RAO migrating populations with little to no hybridization between the populations. Number 2, RAO without hybridization. The model is similar to the classic RAO above, but includes a greater level of hybridization taking place between the migration populations and the indigenous archaic populations being encountered and displaced. RAO assimilation, this model, like the other two above, accepts a recent African origin for modern humans. Unlike the previous two models, it includes a replacement and or extensive migration of populations as the major driving factor in the emergence of modern humans. The model focuses on the importance of pervasive gene flow and population admixture in conjunction with changing environmental conditions. Multi-regionalism is number 4. And this is the one to pay attention to because here comes a belief. Watch how the belief creeps in. Multi-regionalism. The model denies a recent African origin for modern humans based on biogeographical data that continue to emerge from paleontology and archaeology. This model also promotes the role of broad-scale genetic continuity over time and gene flow between populations. The basic premise is that modern humans arose not only from Africa, because he has to accept the data. Modern humans not only arose, not only from Africa, but also Europe and Asia, from their H. erectus type Pleistocene ancestors.
So no America?
No! He can't use America. He can use the data that we have to come to another conclusion, but he has to stick with the data. So he has to say, well, there's some older people in Asia and there's some older people also in Europe. He can't use America because they don't have the data for it. So you have to stick with the damn data. You can't duck it. And this is why I called it, it's bigger than your opinion. Well, actually, all the way at the top, I said, bigger than life. This is what people think they're talking about. They think they're bigger than life. We're studying life, specifically our life, and what happened. We don't know exactly what happened yet. And because you don't like the conclusion people are coming to, it's kind of pissing you off because it involves a little bit of racism and shit. But the data that they looked at when they decided to twist it and try to say you came from a monkey, it was actually accurate data. But their conclusion against you and who you are and where you come from, it's just a theory, but the data you cannot change. You are connected to these weird ass bones. You're connected to these things that don't hang out in the house with you. Just like you connected to a banana and a tomato and a fish. You connected to it, just more than the other ones, okay? So now if you get mad about it and you don't like the conclusions, you go look at the damn data. Get the fuck out your house, off the laptop, off the phone. Get out your damn Bibles and all of the new cults you're trying to join. Take your subscription to this cult that you about to join and turn it in and go carry your ass back to school. That's what you should do so that we can look at the data and come to our own conclusions as well, right? So it's bigger than and this your here is small on purpose. I'm being an asshole. It's bigger than your opinion. See, this is you right here. And this is your opinion. Your opinion. You're small with a big ass opinion. You're not that big. You're not bigger than life. We're all in this together and we got to study the data. You're supposed to be skeptical. You're supposed to ask questions, but you can't deny what's being observed. God damn, I can hear my damn self. Okay, by simply having life, you are connected to the group called living beings, right? I made that up. Living beings. I'm not saying this is in a scientific journal. I'm just being a smartass with this last piece. You're connected to a group called living beings. Look at all of that shit right there. This is what's going on. It's more than just us humans. How one feels about the number of connections there are between other life forms does not change the connection. You cannot get rid of the data. You can't get rid of it because you don't like it. It's still there. That's all. That's now, and this is the last part. I gotta be quick. This is why he did this. This is Jeffrey Tompkins, PhD, genetics. Jeffrey Tompkins has a PhD in genetics from Clemson University, an MS in plant science from the University of Idaho, and a BS in agriculture ED from Washington State University. He was on a faculty in the Department of Genetics and Biochemistry at Clemson University for a decade, where he published 57 secular research papers in peer-reviewed scientific journals and 7 chapters in scientific books in the areas of genetics, genomics, and proteomics. For the past 6 years, Dr. Tompkins has been a research scientist in ICR specializing in genomics and bioinformatics research, where he has published 24 peer-reviewed creation science journals. Creation science journals. I know you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. We were talking about, it was scientific at first. What the fuck just happened? Published 24 peer-reviewed creation science journal papers, 2 books, and a wide variety of semi-technical articles in the ICR magazine, Acts and Facts. Do you know what he's talking about? Let's run through this a little bit. Can we take a peek up here? Tor Israel, creation.com. Creation. This is the PhD, y'all. He's refuting it, but he's doing it for a reason. Creation Ministries International. See what you thought?
Nut.
Right. What did you think ICR was? It's like, oh God, this guy has crazy credentials. Look what's on his shit. The Genesis Academy, a 12-part teaching series on Genesis 1 through 11. See, you thought, oh yeah, we're going to eat. Let me get that screenshot. Look at him. He's doing it for God. He's doing it for Jesus. Look at his other articles he wrote. Out of Babel, not Africa. We came out of Babel, not Africa. Yeah, that's why he did that. He sticks the dagger in like that, and he's like, I'm going to prove to you that God did it. He wants to say God did this shit. That's why he's going against it, for a belief. Now, can anyone connect the dots here? Can anyone see the pattern? When you refute this data, there's usually some type of belief that you're trying to push. And there's people in the field doing the same thing. And this should encourage your ass to go and get involved with them. Because you'll have some people on your side. Your gods may be different.
Mm-hmm.
You might have aliens. You may have, what do they have? Yakub. You know, you might have the Pleiadians or whatever.
Right, the Draconians.
But either way,
You got the
get in that field.
Hasis.
Not gonna learn to die.
I don't think they want it, bro. Either way, they're not going to accept it. Now, the stuff that he gave y'all,
You
it
know the
wasn't
drill,
from
bro.
a book. It was from people that was actually in the field. And he has the primary sources. If y'all want them, he'll hit y'all with them. But it wasn't from a
Yeah,
book.
if anybody wanted those sources, I can flip the screen again and run back through it, and you can actually. How many minutes is that? I'm gonna post this up on TikTok. I'm gonna just add the audio to each one of the clips, and I'm gonna post it up on TikTok because we got 10 minutes on it now. Go ahead, man.
I'm good. I don't have no slides. I was waiting on Chief Pressure to come over here and call me a bad Pan-African.
No, it doesn't mean that the theory of fusion is wrong. You see what I'm saying? They don't get it. This is why, just leave this alone. You do not get it. And if I give you the sources, the articles and stuff, and these papers, and these abstracts, these books, they're way more complicated. I simplified it, and you still don't get it.
Right?
I showed both sides.
Trippy Tippy, 412. He didn't say it was a theory, and he didn't say we are monkeys. You weren't listening to none of the information. He said there's a common ancestor, and they put us all in Pacific group. Boy.
Then I showed them trees. I showed them animals in a group. I showed them algae inside of a group with prokaryote. They don't get it. It's a group. Hey, do we all have bones? A fish has bones. We can make a group of bones, of things that have bones, called the boneheads. Because we all got bones. We're life forms with bones. So it's classified. It makes it easier to study. If we're studying tumors that grow on your bones or some type of element that is connected to bones, we would gather all the data. with these things that have bones and study it so we can try to fix this problem with these bones. But if you don't have bones and you're not in the classification of the boneheads, then we don't have to study you. And it makes it easier to accumulate the data and analyze it. They're not understanding this shit. That's why it's not for you. It's just not for you, man. I know y'all want to be smart and y'all want to be involved, and you know, you feel like the clock is ticking on you. You feel like, oh no, Jesus wasn't real, and oh no, I can't find Africa in my DNA. Oh no, Islam didn't work for me. Oh no, gang life didn't work, and you panicking now. Now you panicking. And you think I gotta hurry up and figure out the answer to life. No, you actually gotta take a L. You gotta take a L. Even I'm a late bloomer. I'm a late bloomer. I got into this shit late. You're teaching misinformation. This is crazy. All I did was show what two people concluded off of analyzing data. The two chromosomes that the chimpanzee has are separated, and ours are in the same exact sequence, but ours is fused together. And I showed you two people who came to two different conclusions. They both agreed on the data, though, but they came to a different conclusion. One said we came from God. The other one says that we came from Africa.
Yeah, you ain't getting it, 420. The information went over your head.
That's why I said reading comprehension. I was going to do some of these yesterday, but then I was like, I got to run through reading comprehension, primate, ape. I still had to do hominid. They don't know what the hell a hominid is. So you think you a hominid? You think you a hominid? My people aren't hominids. You clearly don't know what a hominid is. But then again, they're saying this, yeah, it's 798. He doesn't agree with it. He's not disagreeing with the data, though. It's not about fusion. You missed the whole point. The only reason I picked those two, there's a whole bunch of other theories. I picked those two because one is a believer, he disagrees with it, he gives you his premise, and then he gives it to God. The other person has a conclusion that they have with the data, and they say that it fused together. He didn't tackle any of the other theories because that is the most accurate one. The fusion is the most accurate one. So he attacked that one. There's other theories. Go find them. You're only focusing on the Big Bang and evolution and monkeys and all of this shit because that's what you're sensitive to. Like it's connected to you and your trauma and your history as a black person and shit. So that's all you harping on. There's other theories out there, but nobody is denying the exact same sequence in those chromosomes. That's what made the connection. That's why we got grouped in with the other hominids, because we all have that connection. That's all that is. Now conclude what you want to do from there, but you cannot deny that data. That data is not going to go nowhere. Unless you join Rashad Jamal and somehow get rid of your chromosomes. That's one way out. But yeah, that's all, y'all.
I can clearly see it.
Didn't pay attention. I explained this in the beginning. I'm not about to keep doing this shit.
You gotta go read them journals, man. Y'all gotta get what's the subscription? Life Science, Life Magazine. What's the other one? Scientific America. It's another one that I forget. But yes, y'all. I think
Science Today. It's a lot.
Yeah, they're free. They talk about the same stuff. Get a human evolution book. Everything goes through evolution, whether y'all want to believe it or not. You can't say, oh, we're not part of the evolution theory or the process, because the way we look now is the same way we looked at 200,000 years ago. Everything on this planet goes through a form of evolution, whether it's going through evolution from what man is doing to it or what Earth is doing to it. You might have two different type of fruits, and they might accidentally be planted together by nature. So then they might fuse and create another fruit. Or man could do it. Man could take a seed and another seed and put them together and grow it. Put a pineapple inside of a coconut. Yeah, bro, both are still fruit though. But what he's saying is you got DNA sequences. You have DNA sequences from what you want to call a brain. What is that? A chimpanzee
Chimpanzee, yeah.
and a human. They have a certain sequence of genetics that are almost identical in nature. That's what he's talking about. So they know there's something there. There's a gap there. Just like hell, I can share the same DNA sequences with a banana or a graham cracker or a leaf. That don't make you a graham cracker or a leaf.
I'm gonna do the hominid thing one more time. A hominid is modern humans, everything that came before us, even things that don't exist no more, right? And a hominin is just the ones that are still alive. So a hominin can be a hominid, but a hominid cannot be a hominin. Why not? Because it's talking about the ones that are no longer here, that were here before. They're all just bones and shit, and we're just connected to them.
The ones that are no longer here is with a D, and the ones that are still here is not with a D.
Exactly. And the RH factor, I'm going to say this again. The RH factor has nothing to do with a rhesus monkey. Go look it up. Get out of this monkey business. It's monkey business. You knew it when you were starting to study your history of with people being racist towards you. You saw that. You knew like, yo, they lying. And then all of a sudden it became true again. Now you think you're a monkey again. You don't understand it. They're the ones who twisted this around to pin it on you to make you think that you're a monkey or you come from a monkey. Then you debunked it and went back into believing it again. So now we're at a different problem. You just don't understand the data that you're looking at. That's cool.
Now,
Doesn't
Emily,
matter.
he can't see your screen. You got to go over to his thing. Yeah, you got to. He can't see your comment. You got to go over to his live.
You know how some people just don't get it? They just don't get it. I still don't get it. I still don't get it. It's not for you. I told you the main evidence for fusion has always been the fact that the two pieces of human chromosome 2 are nearly identical to the chromosome 2A and 2B. Typically 96 to 98% identical. The genes are almost entirely in the same order. The intergenic regions are similar all along the 2A and 2B length. Millions of bases. That's the issue there. From there, that's the data that they looked at. I have a tattoo in between my knuckles, right? Let's do a little exercise. I got a tattoo in between my knuckles, right? It says I'm going the wrong way, my bad. It says TNO. Trust no one, right? That's what's observed. But I told you it stands for trust no one, right? But you can observe that it says T, N, and O. Come to the conclusion you want to after that. Well, it could be this type of ink. The tattoo's on my hand, though. That's not going nowhere. Then if somebody else has one and it matches, you're going to start coming to, okay, they both got the same thing. Maybe they're in the same gang. Maybe they're best friends. Maybe it's a coincidence. You're going to try to come up with something from there. But the data that you're analyzing is that there's 3 letters in between this nigga's knuckles. And it matches the 3 letters in between the other niggas' knuckles. Come on, like, this is common sense. Forget the conclusions. The fusion doesn't matter. The guy saying that God did it doesn't matter. The point why we got grouped in the same classification is because the two things are there and they're the same. And they also seen the shit happen in horses. So this is also something that they're seeing happen throughout other species in their history. So that's why the fusion has so much weight under it. It has a lot of data behind it. He just has belief. He has Christianity behind him, so they're going to help him out. But, you know, we know how that goes. What was Emily asking? She had a question.
She said you got buff.
You said I got what?
Buff.
Yeah, I told you I was going on keto. I was doing my keto. Then I'm going stuff in my face, right back to the zebra cakes, hamburgers and shit, you know. I go right back to it. I do the shit so I can eat the way I want to eat. That's why I do all the healthy shit. I get up and eat a whole bunch of healthy shit, skip the meal actually. I drink the juices and the herbs and the oils and all of that so I can eat shit that I ain't supposed to be eating. That's why I do it. You know, and to be ready in case some sickness comes or some shit. My body ready to fight it. But yeah, I went down from 240 to like 215 or whatever. I'm going right back up. And then if shit get out of hand, drop it down again. The way I do it is if I feel like when I'm running, if I don't feel like I'm fast, like I feel too heavy, I start up like, yo, nigga, I need to drop this weight because I need to be able to pick up this kid, and get the running with him.
Hurry
In
up.
case something happen. Cause this going to bring some type of smoke. This ain't going to stop right here. Trust me. We're going to be a major fucking problem. We just playing with y'all. This is just like little clips from y'all don't even know. These people are deceiving y'all, bro. They're deceiving you. They're going on it, and we didn't even, bro. And I forgot about Dude too. When I was scrolling through there to pick the shit I wanted out of there, I found Dude, the dude who made the shit, the technique they use.
No, I didn't know that.
No, nigga, the shit you sent me, the one who
Yeah, I
made the
didn't. Yeah, I
technique.
didn't know you found it though.
No,
I
I
was.
had it.
I sent you that so you can make the rebuttal and put it on the YouTube.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm trying not to say it. The one who created the whole technique of take a picture and just talk and point at the picture.
Oh,
And
okay.
take a picture and point
Yeah,
at. We got the person who did that. They don't know where this shit comes from. So, but we waiting for something more juicy, you know what I'm saying? Like we understand that there still has to be entertainment with this, but at the same time, we're gonna be tapping some chins. It seems like everybody wants to come out. I know y'all probably watching, cause y'all keep on responding. Like when I go look at y'all videos, y'all saying shit. You're not refuting nothing. You just running your mouth. But you're talking like you mad. You know how you know somebody mad? Like you mad about something. You were kind of responding to me, but you're not talking to me. Like when we be on there with A-Train and he get off and then he go to his live and he talking, but he ain't talking to us.
yeah.
Not you, Mo. Not you. I went over there and pulled up on opium. He said, you need to go talk to Port. Talk to Port City Vibe. I'm talking to you. I'm over here on your video talking to you and you trying to tell me to go to talk to Port City. I'm talking to you. None of us called everybody an African American.
Right?
Cuckoo.
They keep saying that, and we keep every live we say that. We say we're not calling every black person in America African American, and they keep coming with the same stuff. But I do tell you this: they call every Pan African or anybody that associates themselves with Africa monkeys or an Asian. So, and then as soon
Yeah.
as you go into their comment section and you ask them questions that goes against the narrative of what they're teaching, they start slandering you, calling you names. They can't just say, "Oh well, here, go look this information up." Oh well, we can go live and we can talk about it. Nope. They just F you. You're a goofy. You're a bad Pan African. You're a monkey. I'm like, whoa, what is all this, bro? It's not even that deep.
A fast recap. I just ran
You
through
guys don't do
what
no
these words
real.
really mean. Right? A quick recap is I just ran through what these terms really mean. With the common ancestor, the word hominid, why we're classified as hominids and hominins, the word tribe being used in biology, taxonomic ranking, life, domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, the reason why they made the connection between us and chimpanzees and what that data actually was. It doesn't mean that you came from the chimpanzee. They said they see that this is here in the DNA and it's also there in the DNA. That's it. From there, they said maybe something fused over time and it's something mutated, and that's what happened. And the other guy who has a PhD, he said that no, it didn't. The fusion didn't happen. Actually, God did it. This comes from God. And actually, it didn't come from just out of Africa. People came out of Europe and Asia. So he expanded it some because he's trying to get it to Babel. He's trying to get it closer to the Bible place so he can say that life started over there, so he can make the Bible the beginning of time. Genesis, the beginning of time, I mean. Right, so I ran through that, the similarities. I showed the karyotyping, how they made the connection, chromosomal fusion that happened in horses. This has also happened in other animals before. I showed the actual chromosome and the sequence and how they match 2A and 2B. And alternative gene splicing was the guy who refuted it. The fusion. He didn't refute the data. He refuted the conclusion that the person made as to how the data got there. That's what he said. I don't agree with he agrees with the data as it is, what he's observing. He doesn't agree with the fusion. So he has the alternative gene splicing method. And he refutes it. Anybody can pick which one they want. And the conclusion of it all is that the main evidence for fusion has always been the fact that the two pieces of human chromosome 2 are nearly identical to the chromosomes 2A and 2B of apes, typically 96 to 98% identical. The genes are almost entirely in the same order. The intergenic regions are very similar all along the 2A, 2B length, millions of bases. That's it. From there, come up with your own conclusion. There was no fusion, too short for fusion. No one cares about the fusion. It's not the fusion. It's the data that is 96 to 98% identical. If someone took a book and smacked it across one of the early humans' heads and then it fused together, you can disprove it. Go, no, that's not what happened. It just happened. Cool. Then prove that it just happened without anything doing it. Prove that it wasn't epigenetics. Prove that it wasn't God. That does not matter. The data that they're identical and you being classified with them for having the identity, for having identical data is what we're focusing on. And they just cannot get out of, well, I ain't gonna put that on y'all. That's her. You just can't get out of the fusion. It's not fusion. Let it not be fusion. I don't care what the fuck it is. To be honest, all I did this for, I don't believe either one of them. I don't believe the fusion, and I don't believe that God did it. It's irrelevant. I'm more concerned as to how the hell did that happen. And no one has said what happened without being able to be refuted. It's just one has a stronger case because the same thing also happens in animals. That's it. The same thing happens in horses. So accept fusion or throw it away. Get rid of the data. Get into a laboratory and show us that it's not 96 to 98% identical. And then we can start talking about disconnecting ourselves from this classification into another classification. Right. How did it happen? Disprove it all you want to. It happened. The data is there. It exists. Now, how did it happen? That's all we're talking about. For some reason, everybody else thinks that it means they're a monkey. They think that it means that you came from the monkey. I don't know why this is happening, but this is, I guess, it's reading comprehension, and a lot of other things that we ain't gonna talk about out here. That ain't gonna get me banned. But yeah, bro, I know it's getting late, and they'll keep running me in the damn circle. 140.
What's up with it? What you doing?
This nigga Odd in here talking crazy. She took one of them mushrooms or something.
What now?
Revolution through fire.
Okay.
Yeah, so I encourage people to get in the field, man. We need to start doing it. I'm trying to get one of my kids into biology or archaeology, and start there. And try to keep it. We need to get there and look at it. They could be lying about it. And if we think they're lying, then we need to get involved. For now, this is the data that we're presented. This is the data we have. And I went over when it says when a chromosomal aberration is identified, it allows for a more accurate prediction of the risk of its recurrence in future offspring. Karyotyping can be used not only to diagnose aneuploidy, which is responsible for Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome, but also identifying chromosomal aberrations associated with solid tumors, as well as nephroblastoma, meningioma, neuroblastoma, retinoblastoma, renal cell carcinoma, small cell lung cancer, certain leukemias, and lymphomas. So this data that they're observing, it's helping us out. They can look at your baby in the womb now and stop Down syndrome. If you listen, if their data is wrong and it's faulty, and they're using it to improve life for humans, but you feel like you can make it better and correct it, get your ass out there then. Get involved in it, because the faulty data is working for shit, right? When y'all gotta go to the hospital and you done exhausted all of your other options, and it's time for you to hit that hospital, because no matter how tough y'all be talking, I'm God, I'm this, and you going to the hospital, nigga. Stop the cap. And you gonna tell them, fix me. I want to go see my kids. I want to go home. I want to see the movie. I want to be. I don't want to not be no more. I want to continue to be. So this is all cap. It's for that internet shit. You're gonna go to that damn hospital one way or another. Quit it. So, and they're using faulty data to save people's lives every day. They're stopping Down syndrome with faulty data. Y'all gotta quit. You gotta quit. But I'll give you that. If the data's faulty and they're doing a good job with it, and you got the other answers, why you on the line? You're on the internet talking to us. Get in the field and go help these people upgrade their shit. But y'all ain't doing that. That's not what this is for. Y'all trying to make cults. I'm just entertaining it to show people that I can be open-minded. But we know what y'all up to, man. You're creating cults and you want attention. That's all it is. But yeah, that's all, bro. You got something now?
I mean, I'll wait for them to come in if they want to come up, but I doubt it.
Yeah, go get your master teachers. Cause I'm not even a master. Y'all got master teachers. That motherfucker say something, you just believe that shit. I'm not a hominid. What's a hominid? Y'all don't even ask questions. Ask them what the shit mean when they say they not this and they not that. Ask them where it comes from. Ask them how they determine that somebody is a monkey or comes from a monkey. Ask them. I bet you won't ask them because there's no scientific data for it. I just showed you. There is no scientific data that says that you come from a monkey. There is none. The only thing you can do is say that there's a common ancestor there, that both people, us and the other creatures, somehow interacted with that being. It doesn't mean you came from it. That's the closest thing you can get to it, but you're never going to get this you are a monkey thing and you came from a monkey thing. It's not going to happen. It's not there. Matter of fact, as soon as you type it in Google, say, where did the idea come from that humans come from monkeys? Do humans actually come from monkeys? Look it up. They're going to say that there's no scientific data to promote it. They're going to bring up probably some shit with racism back in the day. It was used for Negroes and all of this. That's the only thing that's going to pop up. And pseudoscientists. Maybe some profiles from TikTok will pop up. Only advice. Oh, damn, I keep forgetting I have to come down because they can't join until I come down.
Yeah.
I can't even. See if you can disconnect it because my shit's stuck. It's frozen.
How to do that?
Why they ain't doing that?
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. No. I only can mute. Yeah, I gotta unmute.
All right, I got it.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Mo for knocking that shit out the park with the presentation. Mo just killed that shit. That was on point. So Mo just showed everybody what it meant when I said we have a common ancestor. Job well motherfucking done, brother Mo.
Yeah. If you like that something. Why are you asking us, can you do a presentation? Go live and do your presentation. Well, you don't need to co-host. Do your own presentation on your own live.
Job well done, bro. Job well done, homie.
Word.
It's like you had to give niggas a whole class on that.
I didn't even think I felt dumb doing it, but I was like, they
Nah, man, I
already
think
talking
that's
like they don't know.
exactly what was needed, man. That's exact. We need to do more of those. The taxonomy, species. Niggas don't need to know what a species is. Niggas need to know what the difference between hominid and all of that. All that. It ain't talked about enough.
Yeah, man, there was some shit in there I forgot about too. To refresh my memory. To go back. Sometimes you got to do that and go back into
Yeah,
it.
just go back and look.
They ain't looking at all clearly because they wouldn't be talking how they talking if they actually knew that shit. That's how we be knowing we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah. That's what I do. I spread misinformation.
Oh
What's
my
the problem? You gonna do something about it? I spread misinformation. Everything I showed y'all, when y'all look it up, it's gonna come back false. Go ahead and believe that shit if you want to. Try it. Try it, my friend.
You don't have to believe the science, but the science is there. The
It don't matter.
facts and the evidence is there.
Even if they want to refute it. So what are you about to replace it with?
Yeah.
So now you got to show us how we got here.
And if it was a Christian standing right there, if I was breaking down Genesis and lining it up, I'm using the same method. I'm researching. I'm seeing what the early church fathers said. I'm seeing what they said. I'm showing them the conclusion on both sides. But I'm looking at the data, and we don't see a God talking. We do the same conclusions, right? But now it's messing with other people's beliefs, so now I'm wrong. If it goes against somebody else's belief, I'm a genius. But oh no,